Coming up on this week's Fever Film Room, with the WNBA in its final stretch of the regular season, Bankers Life Fieldhouse welcomes a special guest. WNBA President Lisa Borders joins the show to tell you what brings her to Indianapolis. And fresh off her fourth gold medal, Tamika Catchings was also honored with the Dawn Staley Community Leadership Award. We get the president's take on the Fever legend. And what does Borders see for the future of the WNBA? All that and more is coming up right now. Hello and welcome into the Fever Film Room. If you've been with us all year, you know that we try to bring you the most pertinent guest of the week as it relates to Fever basketball. Sometimes that can be a little bit difficult, but that's certainly not the case this week because WNBA President Lisa Borders is with us. First of all, welcome. Thank you for joining us. I know your job is to go around to the different WNBA cities throughout the season, throughout the year. But what brings you to Indianapolis and why right now?
Well, first and foremost, let me thank you for having me on the show. I'm delighted to be in this market. And yes, it's a privilege during the season to visit all of the markets, all of the seams, all of the teams that are in our league are important to me and are important to our fans. So I was just appointed to the role in February. In March, I started working, and one of the things I promised all of our players and our owners that I would do is go to each market and listen, get to know each of the markets individually, the teams, their tenure, their temperament, their questions, all of that. So I've spent the first 5 months doing that, in addition to the normal things that occur, like the draft, like tip-off, like season play.
And a chance to see Tamika Catchings, and I know help present her with award as well too, right?
Absolutely. So the Dawn Staley Award for community involvement and engagement and leadership. Tamika received the inaugural award in 2007. So it's all together fitting and proper as she closes out her tour of duty, if you will, that in 2016 she would also receive this award.
That off the court that she does, of course, so special. The on the court is well known as well. She just wrapped up her fourth gold medal with Team USA. She's been an MVP. She brought a title here to this city. What's it like being in your position as you watch her illustrious career wind down?
You know, it's like looking at an idol. She is iconic. She has left indelible fingerprints on and off the court. She's an extraordinary player, but I think she's an even better person. She's the whole package. So when you look at her and all the medals that she's received, not just Olympic medals, but Defensive Player of the Year 5 times, and All-Star 10 times, Rookie of the Year in 2002, the first year that she played for the Fever, and she's been here for 15 years. The loyalty to this city that she has exhibited is extraordinary. So I see an icon. I see someone that has led by example and that will be sorely missed.
You led me into my next question. She has been here her whole career. As a president, someone in your shoes, when you see someone who has been here, been in one city for that length of time and has been that important to that city, is that extra significant in your eyes?
Well, it is. I think that the fact that she has been here for so long, her name is well known. As a former elected official, we're always looking for name ID. So when it comes to the sports space, she is first among equals. Her name is right up there, which brings lots of brilliance and light to the Fever and to the women's franchise and to our league, quite frankly.
You've had ties with the WNBA before you got here. You helped bring a team to Atlanta. I know you're a fan of the league as well. This your first season in this role as president. Have things gone about how you would have expected, how you would have hoped?
Sure, things are going incredibly well, and I give all credit to the franchise folks who are running the teams and the players who are actually demonstrating their athleticism with the product on the floor. So I have the privilege of leading, but you don't do anything by yourself. Each of us has a group of people around us immediately, but we have an extension of ourselves beyond. And so it's always a privilege to come to any given market and take a look and see what's happening. This is a model market. This is an affiliated team where you have the Pacers and the Fever. You have folks working across both platforms. So it's an incredible place to be and to visit and to lift up as a shining example of how a franchise should be run.
And you took over in the WNBA's 20th season. That, of course, has been celebrated throughout the season. Where have you seen the league grow? I know you've been involved with the league, been a fan. Do you think the most from year one, the early stages of the league, to where things are now?
So I think the product on the floor is probably the greatest marker of our evolution from 1996 to 2016. You're right. This is our platinum anniversary. 20 years. What a remarkable age, but it's still relatively young. So the product on the floor, that's what we're selling every day, an entertainment option to our fans. So to have our product be so extraordinary, sixth gold medal is what the women and the men's team brought back. You guys have Tamika Catchings on the women's side, Paul George on the men's side. You've got one of each. Oh my God, how amazing is that? But you also had athletes that played on other teams like Natalie Achanawa for Canada. So we've got extraordinary talent here, and that's to be commended.
And you had a couple gold medalists in the building, 3, in fact, for the game that was Tuesday night. You're going to have a couple more here on Thursday night. I think fans can appreciate that someone in your position both has to have an eye on this season, on the present, but always be looking toward the future as well. When you look at the WNBA and you think about when it's celebrating its 30th and 40th anniversaries down the line, where do you see the league being?
I'd like to see full buildings. We've got 12 teams across the country right now. I'd like to see every arena full at every game, and a waiting list, of course, because what is the measure of success? It's sustainability and profitability. So to the extent that we have our league, our franchises, our female players fully embraced by the community, that spells success. So if that happens in 5 years, I'll really be happy.
We've talked a lot about you in a professional sense, the league in a professional sense, the Fever. I want to know, you've got a rare off day. Where are fans finding you?
On an off day, you could find me in my apartment just trying to get some sleep. I spend a lot of time on the road, and that's appropriate. Our teams are not all in New York. They're not all in Indy. They're all over the country. We have a nice national footprint. Of course, someday we'd like to see it be even broader, even deeper. We don't want to expand too quickly, though. We want to grow organically so that we can have sustainable growth. It's much like eating a candy bar in the afternoon when you're tired. You shouldn't do that. You will just spike, have energy for a couple of hours, and then crash. The comparable to that might be to grow too quickly and have our franchises not succeed. So we want to grow incrementally and sustainably from the grassroots level. We don't want just an owner who has a checkbook that can write a check to buy a team. You've got to have a community embrace the team, come to the games and support it. Arenas, some are small, some are big. Here, there's an 18,000 seat arena. We want it full. We want every arena in every one of our markets full so that our teams are operationally strong and financially sound.
This might be a tough question because I know you're still in year one, but what has stood out about Indianapolis, the Fever franchise, Pacers Sports and Entertainment, maybe even as a whole to you?
So this franchise, as I mentioned earlier, is a model franchise because your owners believe in both of our leagues, the NBA and the WNBA. The WNBA is a growth strategy for the game of basketball. We all believe basketball first. There are only 2 international languages, music and sports. We are in sports, and it's part of the entertainment industry, right? So number 1, your owners believe. Everyone doesn't. That makes you unique. You're 17 years in. There are only 3 franchises that are left from the inaugural year, New York, Phoenix, and LA. There are very few who have the tenure of an Indy. So that too makes you unique. But more importantly, your fans believe and your staff here believes in all of our products, the entire portfolio of basketball properties. That number 3, my friend, makes you equally unique.
Well, you just named 3 of those teams that have been here from the beginning. You got to see Phoenix on Tuesday night, and on Thursday night, you're going to get to see the Liberty, who, of course, that was a fantastic Eastern Conference Finals last year with the Fever prevailing. What are you looking forward to the most about watching that game on Thursday?
Excitement. That's what I'm looking forward to. We have a new format this year for playoffs. As you know, it's single elimination in the first 2 rounds, and then you have the best of 5. But I am really excited to see the product, to see the athletes do what they do best, success. It is breathtaking to watch them play below and above the rim. To watch the physicality is just incredible to me, and to recognize the depth of talent on each of the benches and how evenly matched many of our teams are. Even when someone goes on a 10-0 run or a 15-0 run, invariably the other coach will take a timeout, reset, come back, and oh my God, let's go. So I really am excited to see on the arena floor, on the hardwood, all that activity during the playoffs.
I think the president sold that game pretty well. Feverbasketball.com is how you can get tickets. If you're watching this episode on the website right now, you can click the tickets tab above us. And of course, our box office is right below us, is how you can get into that game again. Thursday, it's a 7 o'clock tip. Fever and Liberty, a couple recent Olympians. Of course, Tamika Catchings, Tina Charles will be in attendance for that one. WNBA President Lisa Borders, thanks so much for your time and welcome to Indianapolis.
Privileged to be here. Thank you so much.